Well, good evening and welcome. It's me, KP. I'm here in my studio, The Moon and the Maker, home of Art Foamies, and I'm here for Art Foamy Fun Friday. Again, I'm just going to repeat myself. I can't believe it's Friday. Time is just going by so quickly. Anyway, welcome, and I am melting. It is 101 degrees outside. It feels like 150. I hope wherever you are that you're staying cool and the weather is nice. I do need to let you know we're not having an after party tonight, basically because of how hot it is. You just got me all natural because I'm no makeup and it's a moo kind of day. Anyway, it is Art Foamy Fun, so we're still going to have some fun. And I want to welcome all my friends. Catherine, Stephanie is here. Jim, yay, it's nice to see you. Anita is here. Ginger, Christina, Patty, D. Keels is here. Dana, Pam, Puffer, welcome. It's nice to see you. Linda Weber is here. Terry Moore. Who else? Ellen, Deb Peak. Well, it's a great group. And thank you again for joining me. We have lots to share. Super excited, as I am every week. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we're just going to chit chat about stuff, about Art Foamy stuff. Okay, we're going to have a little demo and we're going to talk about Megan Quinlan. We're going to talk about her right behind her front and how awesome her and inspiring her images are. I've just been having such fun with them. So let's see who else is here. Catherine, thank you so much. Yes, it's way too hot to wear anything else. Oh my gosh. Mary Lynn, Judith is here. Terry, welcome, welcome. All right, so as you know, I hope you know, we are having another Megan Quinlan pop-up. Her first one was so amazing, and she still had so many ideas that she wanted to come on and do another one, but we went ahead and we extended it instead of, oh yay, it's so much quieter now. The AC is just running constantly, as you can imagine. Still really hot in here. I think it's still like 80 degrees in my studio, but and I don't know if you can hear the fan. I have this little tiny fan right here pointed at my face. Because otherwise, again, I'd literally be melting. Anyway, so Megan came out with some more girls and another pattern set that has been just so well received. Love using her images. And again, was, as you could see, if you did get the newsletter, if you've peeked over at the Art Foamy site, I was super inspired. So I have lots of samples, lots of makeys to share with you. Also, I'm just going to go through one thing at a time. Okay. I'm going to start at the beginning. First of all, many of you know we give a freebie, or I hope you all know that that we give a freebie with purchase each and every month. It is one per customer while supplies last. Now, I know some of you end up getting more than one because it does happen. That's okay too. But just know that generally, if you don't get a second or third or whatever, um, you know, because you've placed multiple orders in 1 month, that's, we don't always send a second and third, but sometimes we might. But anyway, this month is the little empty niche. And I just wanted to show you, it's stamped out here. This is how it stamps. Okay, pretty basic. And then I do have some things stamped inside of it, so you can see how that might work. Also took another color paint marker and did a little bit of, decorating over the top. So lots of options with that on these. And you can see they're not complete, but did a little bit of doodling again over the top. So you could really make this your own, again, using it as a base layer for, for whatever you're doing. These are Art Foamies for your art, right? Diana Quick, happy Art Foamy Fun Friday to you. Thanks for coming on. Also, last week, I believe I showed you all some ink picks. Do you all remember the ink picks? What ink picks are little disposable brushes. They are sort of like a felt tip pen on a disposable little stick, okay, a little plastic stick. So I do use these for lots of different applications. I may use them for touch-ups. I might use them to apply a little bit of glue or, just squeeze into some tighter little spaces. I often will color things in using them, and you can pick up whatever color ink you want. They are reusable to a point, okay? The tip does not last long. It's just a little felt tip thing, but there are like 20 of them for like a few bucks, okay? They are now listed on the ArtFoamies site. Many of you had asked for them, and I said they would be up by this ArtFoamies Fun Friday. So they are there if you want to take a peek at those, okay? And here, if you recall, I also created this little, well, I didn't make the whole thing. I just I upcycled. I took this little toothpick holder that I've had, oh my gosh, around for years, and it was empty inside the little frame. Okay, so I went ahead and I put a little bit of watercolor browns within that frame, and I used Megan Quinlan's new stamp from new Art Foamy from her little Megan's motifs or pattern play. I'm sorry, from her new collection. The little I don't know. It's a little circle upon circle or oval upon oval. I don't know. It's squishy circles in a square. How about that? Anyway, I love the way this came out. Ink pick holder not included, but I did want to show you how you can make something fun, save something from the yard sale pile, and use your art foamies at the same time. Okay, super fun. All right, so ink picks now available at artfoamies.com. And also, the other thing, we've been Rolodexing around here. Cindy Sharp, welcome. DQ reminds me of ice cream. Wish I had some. I know, right? I found the best dairy-free ice cream cones. Oh my gosh, they're by So Delicious, and they're just like the old-timey drumsticks, only I think better. So if you find any of those, definitely buy some and eat one in my honor. Okay. All right. So Rolodexes, we've been making lots of them. I'm going to just pull out one of my many Rolodex art holders, and I call it a Rolodexy. And this is the most recent Rolodexy card that I created using, again, all of Megan's art foamies. Okay, we have here her curly girl, and then her leaf background. Again, here is the squished circles in a square. And then these two little sprigs are from her last collection. I hope you all got them. But I will tell you, if you're missing her last collection, okay, which I'll show it to you really briefly. I don't have it all stamped out here, but she does have the little sprig, the little sort of, I don't know, rainbow stacks, if you will. It also had a little lotus and a little sort of star flower. Okay, this was her Megan's motifs from her original collection, and though we do not sell them anymore, she will be carrying them again. Okay, she placed a reorder, so I don't know if she has them in her Etsy shop now, but be looking out for them because she did place a reorder. Okay, that's great because these were super popular, and a lot of people were saying I didn't get a chance to get them during the pop-up. So, all right, keep your eyes open for those through Megan again. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll do a little quick flip through just so you can see some of the art created. And this is a 2 1/4 by 4. This is the size of Rolodex that it holds. For those of you who do Rolodex art, then you know that the spacing on the holders is a little bit different for the 2 1/4 by 4 as compared to the 3 by 5. The spacing between the holes is different, okay? So anyway, we'll just do a quick little flip through. Most of these have been created with art foamies, or I should say many of them. I do have some random ones and some blanks as well, and definitely some beautiful ones. sent to me by some of my friends. You can recognize that Art Foamy. There's one with a imprint pad. I love, love, love this one. Okay, this is done with a small book and a word from our Art Foamy poetry. Anyway, I won't go through each and every one. I just wanted to show you that even though you're doing small work, okay, lots of Art Foamies were used in creating these. Again, some from Megan's first collection, some of the freebies. Oh my goodness, so many. Oh, here's one of Keisha's. Oh, I love it, love it. Some from Red Tin Roof. Oh my gosh, 100 Proof Press. All right, and Rubber Moon. I just can't resist. Oh, and look, this one, my friend Janice Sigmund made me this, and so many Art Foamies used in this, and I absolutely loved it. So I keep it in the back because it is the tallest and looks so good. I love stacking them. I think it just makes such a nice collection. Anyway, speaking of stacking them, the Rolodexes, we do have some of these Rolodex stacking cards available on our website. These are created, well, I put in my input, okay, and give some design inspiration to Gina H at GSL Cuts. And so I do sometimes get some of her things and also list them on our website. And since we're so, you know, into doing the Rolodexes, I thought carrying some of these blanks would be great. So here is the arched, and again, if it says standard, okay, then that means that it is for the 2 1/4 by 4. The larger is the 3 by 5. Now we're not carrying the 3 by 5 at this point, but I do have the standard ones. I am going to get them in, but we're just trying to get this size all, you know, loaded up in the shop first. So what the stacks are is they have different shapes, and they, as you can see, stack nicely. You can also mix and match them with other shapes, which is really nice. Excuse me. Orange Spiral Arts is here. Thank you so much. And Mystic Images as well. And I know both of you, by name, but right now my brain can only read what is on the screen. I think Orange Spiral is Brianna, right? And Mystic Images is going to evade me. Please tell me your name again if you so desire. If not, I'll just call you Mystic. How about that? Anyway, so these are great. And you can see here, this larger size is the one that I used to create this this piece with Megan's images. All right. I haven't yet finished off the back, although I was pretty successful at keeping it nice and clean. So I could leave it, or of course I could paint it or stamp it or collage on it, or, you know, put whatever information. I do think that birthday Rolodexes or special occasion Rolodexes are super nice to give and to receive. So if I wanted to, you know, put whatever, birthday greetings or something like that on the back, that would also be fantastic. All right. Anyway, so we did load, so these are in the shop. There's a lot of different shapes. Okay. I didn't pull out all the shapes to show you right now, but, we did add one. Okay. And it's a little bit different because there's actually more than 3. Normally the stackables are going to be in 3s. Okay. A small, medium, and large. Okay. This one is called Deco Stack, and it is a shape or set of shapes that Gina already had in her shop. And I said, hey, why don't you make those into Rolodexes? I think they'd be so cute. And so it's really, really fun. You do get 7 pieces, starting with just this little strip, and then going to a rounded scallop, and then going to a straight across scallop, and then going to sort of a, I don't even know, bracket shape. Okay, bracket shape sounds good. And then a larger and taller scallop again. And then a different sort of bracket once again. But you can see how they look stacked together. Super cute and, you know, nicely coordinated. So you could just do 3 of them, and you could put your other pieces with other things even. You know, this would be a great little border. So definitely get your hands on one of these. And then the tallest one is just a plain rounded corner. But I think it would also be wonderful to use this taller one with, you know, some of Megan's tall girl images, right? Because a lot of hers are not necessarily that they're tall, but they're made to, you know, make as elongated as you like, right? So those again are listed all on the website, artfoamies.com, under, you know, under art supplies. And I think just type in Rolodexy or Rolodex art and you'll find these, and you will click on it and there'll be a variant. Okay. So you can choose whichever ones that you like or want. Okay, again, they're great for mixing and matching and some super fun shapes. Okay, keeping in mind they are cut, so sometimes they are laser cut, so sometimes your fingers will get a little bit black when you handle that chipboard. All right, so be aware of that when you're working on your art. Nothing a little baby wipe won't take care of. All right, while we're talking about the Megan Quinlan pop-up, which again, we decided to run it for 2 weeks because a lot of people felt last time it wasn't long enough. And also, I have to tell you, I was a little bit remiss in advertising it very well, and so a lot of people didn't even know about it just because of all that I've been going through over the past few weeks. So now we're back at it, and I'm going to share with you the collection once again. Just so you can see. And again, these images will be gone from the website on August 4th. Okay, so let's take a peek at them and then I'll show you a bunch of samples that I've made and that I'm working on. Once again, I just find them so inspiring. All right, so this is the Curly Girl set, and it does come with both sort of the queen and just the curly girl. She always reminds me of a phone cord, so I just love that. Here we have Garden Gals, and these two also come as a set. I can find the other one here. Now watch, I won't have that other one here handy. Garden Gals has the oh goodness, the one with the cat, which I love, and also the one, yes, I don't have her stamped right here for some reason, but I do have a little sample with her, so I'll just pull that out. So it comes with the girl with the funny cap, which she is a favorite, I have to say. People have been loving, and I love her, and people have been loving her. And then the other one has the flowers growing in her hair, which again, I don't know if you saw me stamp this last week, or I don't even remember where I stamped it, to be honest. But it goes really well with the Marilyn Kelly wildflower sort of border. Wendy's in the house. Yay. Thank you for coming. I hope your foot is feeling better, my friend. Anyway, so again, and if anybody wants me to tell you the sizes of the images, please just ask. They are or should be all listed on the website on the listing. Okay. The next one we have is Mushy Maiden, and she is the mushroom hair girl with the little side mushroom. And the nice thing about her too is that if you remember last month, oops, I grabbed the wrong one. Where's that mushroom? Oh, last month, Megan also designed our freebie with purchase, and so she goes really well with that. And I do also have a piece of artwork that I finished using the stamp, and I think I did finish this live with you last week, so super fun. I love the way she turned out, and had a blast creating this. You know, I love using my art foamies on you know, substrates and actually making hangable art, but any of these things would make wonderful greeting cards or, you know, journal spreads. Okay, and then finally, and I don't think that I have samples with all of these people. Well, maybe I do, actually. Well, with a lot of them I do. All right, she has also a set, again, of patterns, and we called this one Pattern Play, and it has 5 images. And you can see sort of like these, I don't know, underside of mushrooms. That's kind of what makes, kind of what I think of, or, you know, maybe lanterns or something like that. Very organic and very useful. And you can see, obviously, I'm thinking that most everyone here follows Megan, so you can see so many beautiful samples that she has created and shared. It's just amazing. Um, she really puts out a lot of beautiful content. So very, you know, appreciative to have her, you know, release her wonderful artwork with Art Foamies. Anyway, so a little 6 leaves. Again, another organic sort of tendrils, if you will. And then here again is the little squished circles in a square, and then our little ribbon of triangles. Okay, so you get all 5 of those stamps in her pattern play set. Okay, and if you want to see them in artwork, I have created quite a few samples using them here. And this is my own image and a word from our Art Foamy poetry, but I did use her ribbon, sort of ribbon triangle or triangle of ribbons, ribbon triangles, I don't know, on this in red. And then here is the sort of lanterns or the underside of mushrooms. And then here is the little leaves. I think the only one I haven't really used is the tendrils. Okay, I honestly, I haven't gotten to these yet. But she has shared some papers and some beautiful, yes, her little handmade books using all of these. Okay, really, really nice. So that's it actually for Megan's designs, but we do have a couple designed by her son Connor, and she really wanted to put those into the collection, which I was all on board with. Not really, you know, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't really just being indulgent on her part. It was really that people were asking for these wonderful, whimsical images. And I have to say, they've done very well. They're really inspiring. I think that, of course, again, Megan has used them in such wonderful ways. And I think it's also been inspirational for people to create their own using, you know, maybe some artwork from their children in their life. And or, you know, just to show you that so many things can be turned into successful art foamy, right? So I would like to share, I have not admittedly used the fox yet, but it's gonna happen. But I did spend a great makey session creating this owl, and I really, you know, I don't know if all of you saw the post. My mom, who's been gone for quite a number of years, but she had quite a little owl collection, and I always love them. I have many of them, you know, to this day, and so owls are sort of special to me, and this one really called to me. So this is actually one of the first samples that I created with Megan's line, and I just love it. And again, using her little leaf motif in the background. All right, and this is acrylic on a cradle panel. So yes, I'm going to share with you a couple more examples and talk to you about the surprises, because I was so inspired. Okay, I hope that you all had a chance to see this one. So inspired by Megan's imagery, again, with her beautiful sort of maiden, if you will, with the funny hat, and just, you know, her signature sprig, if you will, which I think of Megan when I see this image a lot. You know, super simple, but yet sort of classic. And I don't know, it reminds me of Megan when I see it. And I put all these together, okay, but it really, and then you can see, again, another one of her sort of signature pieces is the tiny little stacking sort of circles or bubbles or whatever. And you know, I use these all together, and then it just really called to me because I also am, you know, an artist and designer. You know, and so in my own work, I just felt that it needed a couple things that I could contribute. So I went ahead and designed some things that have been on my mind for a while. And that is a few of my favorite quotes. Okay. And I don't know how many of you know this, but I wear these bracelets pretty much all the time. I never take them off. There's a few that I never take off. And these two in particular have I've been wearing for about 20 years. This one says "Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story," and it is the first line of the Odyssey. Okay, and it's just very meaningful to me in my work. You know, just in my daily thought process about Makeys, about art. And so I said, you know, if I had a long, thin quote with that, it would be so perfect. And I needed a bird. And then these two sprigs here are something I wanted to add because for a long time, I have been wanting two sort of sprigs facing each other. Okay, I know Maxi Moon actually has one that would have also worked, but I wanted it a little more, have a little bit more, what am I trying to say? Different. Her Maxi Moon has some sprigs that go this way, that, you know, left and a right, and they just have little circles at the end. I wanted something that had a little more different elements. Okay, so it was a little thicker too, I think. But anyway, so I went ahead and designed some of my very favorite quotes from various poems and different things like that to incorporate with Megan's Girls. So I finished this piece. I do consider finished, although I have not yet. I think I'm going to wax it. I think I'm going to use a little Dorland's wax right over the top to give it the finish. Okay, or I could also spray it, the little, maybe some, you know, golden varnish, spray varnish, or some Krylon Kamar varnish, or you could wax it. Okay, and then I will tell you, I made very quick work of the sides by using my black Posca moppers. If you have experimented with these or tried these, I absolutely love them, and they are absolutely fantastic also for doing the sides of your canvases. Just a little tip from, it's kind of a new product on the market. All right. Anyway, so this one, again, I consider finished, although I do want to varnish or wax, and then I will put a hanger, and then I will consider this one resolved, okay? But however, I went ahead and took the liberty of getting another one ready. I thought we could work on it a little bit tonight as a special making. I'm probably not going to finish it, but I will at least show you how I get started. Yeah, so the bird. So I'm going to show you the new stamps from my collection. Keep in mind, if there's any of Megan's that you would love to have that you have not yet purchased, make sure you get them because they will be gone August 4th. Okay. And I literally have no idea if she will carry any of her own or not. It really just depends timing wise and all that stuff. Now, she might in the future, but again, it's either way, it's still a limited release. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to show you the new images that I came out with to sort of complement or go with Megan's imagery. Okay. Although I will say mine are not a pop-up shop, so they will be available indefinitely. Okay. So let me go ahead and just show you the stamps. If anybody, yes, I love the Garden Girl too. And here, I'm just going to show you, here she is in a shorter version, just that, you know, stamped as she sort of is. And then here she is stamped, and then I've given her sort of, you know, a longer body. This is on a 6x12, and this is on a 4x6. Okay. Maxi Moon is here. Welcome. Thanks for coming, honey. All right, so I'm going to show you the new images. Most of them are quotes, but we do have 3 other sort of random, I mean, they're sort of random, but you'll see why I did them. So we do have While I Was Busy, I Became Me. This is one of my all-time favorite rubber moon stamps. However, the rubber moon stamp is a very, well, no, the rubber moon stamp, I'm sorry, is a large round circle, and it has imagery inside of it. So this is just a quote that I love, and I wanted to make it available. I've loved it for years as a rubber moon stamp, and now this is going to come in so handy for so many things. It will be wonderful for a card that might be late. It will be wonderful for journaling. It will be wonderful for all sorts of visual art. I don't know. I love it, and I'm so happy to be offering it. I can't believe, sometimes, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't design this as a stamp or an art foamy before now. But, all good things in time, and they just come to you when they come to you, So, again, here we have my other favorite from my bracelet, and from the, not only from my bracelet, but from the opening of the Odyssey, Singing Me Muse and Through Me Tell the Story. Another huge favorite, okay? Then we have from one of my favorite poems by Mary Jean Irion. I think it's Irion. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but Mary Jean Irion. I think it's Irion. I might be mistaken, but it's close. Anyway, normal day, let me be aware of the treasure you are. That's just the first stanza. It's a pretty heart-wrenching poem, but I do absolutely love this first paragraph. So that's it, normal day. And here I did a little card using it, and I am going to show you how to make this card so quickly. You're going to love it. All right, so I'll put that out there. I also have, what else? We needed, and shame on me, that Orange Spiral Arts. Yes, if you decide to become a Patreon member, you should wait until the 1st, or you will be charged. Again, it does not prorate. Okay, so yes, I would love. It does. No, it doesn't go for a month from the day you join. They don't prorate. They don't prorate the the fee. So you'd pay, and then you'd pay again. So I would wait to join till the 1st. Even though, I mean, I'd be so anxious I might not be able to wait, but anyway. So we needed a Frida Kahlo quote. I won't lie, I would love to do some more, and I am going to tease you and share something with you momentarily, but this is one of my favorite quotes by her, and I went ahead and did at least one. There might be more in the future, because there's more Frida to come, my friends. Way more Frida. All right. I am my own muse, the subject I know best. I love that. And I also think that you can shorten this, and just use part of it, if you don't want to use the whole thing. So I love that. And we only have one for now, but again, more Fridas may be coming, because I love a lot of her sayings. Okay. My other one, and this is much longer. However, again, I think it will be wonderful with so many of Megan's body, or, with so many of Megan's girls, or even other things that we do. I know Wendy has some beautiful pieces that she's done. I have lots of girls, Good Hair Day in the large size, or even maybe Flower Crown. All of those and Simple Silhouette. Many of these are going to work together. So here is from the Desiderata, and I absolutely love this. Again, you could just use a portion of it. I really struggled with the thought of doing a quote so long, or if I should just end it there. Okay, but I love this whole thing. This actually hangs in my house. I have an old print, and I look at it all the time, and it just makes me feel so good when I read it. Okay, I don't know how many of you have read the entire Desiderata, but I highly recommend. Okay, and I do think this will, again, be so great for so many applications. Okay, so I hope you love it as much as I do. Again, I chose the font that I love best, and that's easy to read, pretty, easy to stamp, and yeah, okay. So last but not least, and this might be a little anticlimactic here, but I did want to do one. I think this is super cute for cards, but also maybe for journaling or whatever. And I did it because I did come out with the little birds, okay? So I did a little bird told me, and then it fits really nicely actually with the little birds size wise. And you can see here the little bird stamped and painted there. Okay, and these are small, but I wanted, so we have a lot of larger birds by various artists, great ones by Elizabeth St. Hilaire, really some great ones, also different, but still nevertheless wonderful from Marta Harvey, but nothing quite, like these and in these smaller sizes, okay? So again, it's a 2-bird set, and that's that, all right? So the imagery, I only came out with a couple sort of images, and that is the birds, and that is the, and again, because I was being selfish, I wanted these for my own art, but I also figured if I shared them with you and showed them to you, you might all want them, or at least some of you might want them. So, so I went ahead and, made them, because if I didn't, and then I showed them to you, then you'd want them, and then I would just have to post them. So I headed off at the pass. Anyway, we have twin twigs, and that is the two-sided, or the left and the right facing twigs. Somebody said they remind her of celery, which I think is super cute. Whimsical celery. Also may have to do with the color that it's stamped in. I don't know, but I like them, and I think they'll be very versatile, because I can see them being sort of stamped this way and sort of as a like a bow. I can see them stamped around, and you could make a wreath. I also think they would make great sort of like parentheses for lots of sayings and even some of these quotes. And also definitely just, as backgrounds in with, or not necessarily in with things, but mix and match with some of the other imagery that we have. Okay, one of the things I love is that so many of the ArtFoamies from different artists, it doesn't have to be the same artist, they go together like peanut butter and jelly, right? I'm just copying, somebody else said that. I think Maxie Moon said that. All right. Yes, Catherine, I think of you every time I do anything with birds, but Heather, it's okay. We're here for a while, so maybe you can only take so much. But anyway, no problem. If you want to see all the new stuff and all the samples, maybe you can go back and watch later. But yeah. All right. So last but not least, I did also do a little set of trees. I call them trees in the distance. And it, again, an image that I've sort of wanted for a while. And I'm going to do this for you really, really quickly, because it is a fun, oops, wait, I got some black on here. So how do I have black gesso at the bottom of my, my brand new bin? I don't know. I don't know how it happens, folks. But yes, literally an accident waiting to happen around here. I have a brand new bin that I kept all my new stamps in, and somehow I ended up with a nice big glob of black gesso at the bottom. And I'm sure it'll end up in my artwork somewhere. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to do this really quickly just for a fun little making. And again, since we're not having an after party, I figure I'll stay on here for, as long as I can take the heat and play and have fun, because it's ArtFoamy fun, right? I hope you all have maybe a glass of iced tea, or maybe you drink wine and you have a glass of wine, or a little drinky poo, and you join me for some ArtFoamy fun. It's art, and I haven't even been drinking. No, but I think it's better than happy hour around here. All right, so let's go ahead. I have this. I think it's. Let me measure this paper. I want to say it's 6 by 9. But I could be wrong. 5.5 half by 8.5 or something like that. Let's see, 9 by, yeah, 6 by 9. Okay. And I'm just going to take this little tree in the distance. Let me wipe it and make sure it's clean. Nope, it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. Heather says, how do you not have gesso everywhere? I do. Like, look, none of my clothes are free of stains. Literally none. Not even my good clothes. I always say, oh yes, I'm going to wear aprons. I have a million aprons. Do I wear them? No, not really. Sometimes, every now and again. And I have aprons that I absolutely love, but I still don't manage to do that. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's clean this off. And yes, Carmen says the size of the new designs is perfect for cards. And I do try my hardest to not necessarily cater to card makers, but I know we have a lot. And, one of the things I do love about Art Foamies is that you can make them much larger, um, which is sort of a freedom. But at the same time, I know a lot of people like them for cards. So, all right, for this one, I am going to use this sort of dark aqua watercolor crayon. I'm going to also use a little, let's see, I'm looking for a Derwent stick, sort of a brown, or maybe I'll use this little Derwent. It's kind of a browny color. I think that'll work. And then I'm going to use this circle. Well, you know what? I'd like to find a smaller circle. Hold on. I'm just going to use this small circle from one of my sets. I don't really remember which one. And look at how dirty my hands are already. Sorry that you have to look at my snaggle claws all the time. I tried for the longest time. I'm not kidding. I said my hands are showing all the time. I should have a manicure. We used to call them manicures. We used to do them actually in my Patreon. And I just had to give up because my nails cannot stay nice for like literally 20 minutes. So I just, I don't know how many of you know this, but I have my nail license. I have been a licensed manicurist since, oh my gosh, since I was 17 years old. All right. So I am going to pull out a little bit of this medium magenta. Just, I'm not going to lie. It's only because I like the color. Oh, did I miss something Dana said? I'm sorry if I did. Oh, yes, Dana, they are available now. They are. I just saw Maxi Moon answer you, and I said, oh, I must have missed something. All right, I'm going to squeeze a little bit of this medium magenta out over here on my palette. I am going to mix it also with a little bit of white because I want it actually even to be lighter. I don't want medium magenta. I actually want light magenta. So I am mixing it, and I'm using my high flow acrylic. We're doing mixed media here, right? They don't call it mixed media for nothing. But I love the color that I got the other day when I did this little mixture. So that's what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to do sort of the same or similar color combo. All right. So I also want another green. All right, hoping that Maxi, no. All right, I'm gonna use my Derwent stick. I'm just gonna put a little horizon line there. All right, and maybe I'll go ahead and smoosh a little color on top of that. I will take my trees in the distance and I'm gonna spritz it with a little water from my little water spritzer. And I'm gonna color it up using this turquoise dark sort of crayon. And then I'm going to use the little brown crayon to color the stumps or the trunks. They're not stumps, they're tree trunks, right? And then we're just going to go ahead and stamp that going right across. And you can give it another spritz if you feel like it needs another little spritz. You can color it up again if you feel like it might be getting a little too pale, but I think that'll be enough to go all the way down. All right. You can mask off if you don't want to go over the edge. I don't really care. I'm not going to worry about it right now. All right, and if you missed anything, you can always go back in with a little watercolor pencil or even just a little watercolor on your brush. You can darken some of these. Just, make them a little bit, also gives them a little bit of a differential, right? I'm going to take my brush now with just a little bit of water on it, and I'm just going to give this a smush. If you want, you can just sort of draw it out. Just have a little bit of color still on there. And you can go back over and fuss with it if you need to. It's pretty wet, so and I'm just using, honestly, just sort of a crappy brush right now. I like this brush, but it's old and not really a watercolor brush, but it's okay. So many of you that watch me, I think, must laugh at me because I often just choose whatever at random and then struggle with it, but this is just fine. Now I can also go in and, give some little texture or some extra color to my trees if I want to. I can also go in and, just paint a little bit more over the top if I want to. Oops, I kind of messed that one up, but that's okay. You'll get the idea. If you want to get rid of some of the texture that's stamped on there, you can. Not too worried. I kind of like it, But now I'm going to go in here and I have my pink. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp my circle here first. I'm going to make sure it's clean. It doesn't look clean right now. And, well, I'll show this to you also. I don't know if you can see it here. This is that tree line stamp too, and I'm going to do some painting over. So you'll be able to see this just used as sort of a base layer, right? But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna spritz this up, okay? And I'm gonna use, let's get a yellow, nice yellow Derwent here. And we'll stamp that right there. A little sunshine up there. And if you want, you can give that a smoosh too. Okay, and now I'm going to just go in the background. I'm going to paint a little bit of pink. And again, I know you can't really hear, you can see that I'm mixing my high flow acrylic. I have my medium magenta and a little bit of white. Again, only chose that by color. I could, of course, I think use my Opera Rose watercolor if I wanted to, but I like the way this looked. And it was super easy, and I don't even mind when it hits over some of that water, some of those teal sort of trees. It's fine. It looks nice. You sort of get a little bit of a watercolor effect with this type of golden high flow acrylic, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. Although it does not, it's not going to still be movable once it's dry. That is, it sort of looks a little washy like a watercolor, but it does not act like a watercolor once it is set, right? So, which is a benefit. And it really just depends on what you want, what you like, what you're doing. And I will let you know, I am working on really inexpensive paper. This is like a student grade paper, but it works out, and I think it still can make a cute little greeting card. Go ahead and layer that up on there. And I do feel like, oh gosh, well, I might let this dry. Well, no, I'm just going to go. I'm going to take a little of this color and anyway, again, because it is sort of that cheaper paper and I am working kind of wet, it is getting a little bit mottled, but that's okay. Also, what I might like to do is take a little bit of the yellow and just hit the sides of the trees. I'll give like a nice little glow, a little sunset or something, you know. You can just play, and that's the fun of it. Art foamies are fun, and I think that's a pretty. If you use nicer paper, okay, just pretend that this was nicer paper. It would be a little bit easier to fold over. Oops, wait, hold on. A little blow dry. All right, so let's do, I just did a little fold over. I purposely did this side to be the more finished, or, you know, like to have the sunshine, because when you do fold over this way, and of course you'd want to make sure this was perfectly dry and ready to fold. And then I love this. I took my normal day stamp and just whatever little ink pad. Let's, oh, what color should we use? I guess, let's see, what color did I use on that card I showed you? You know, just a blue. I don't know. I think I might need to use a different color just because I'm going to try this green. I'm using my Space Moss green. I hope it'll show up. I don't know. Maybe I need something darker. I'm not sure. But we'll try this, okay? Jim Smith. Thank you. That was so fast. Huh. Yeah, so that actually a quick, easy, fast, fun card, right? Again, or journal page. And you know, the nice thing about this too, of course, you don't have to stamp the saying, but like you could easily stamp that as a top border and then do a lot of journaling underneath. I think that would be so beautiful. And again, I just needed trees in the distance, okay? And so that's that. Let me that aside, and I'm going to just show you how I might continue this piece. Again, now this, it looks gray down here because if you see the base, it looks a little bit gray because I made a mistake and I just gessoed all over it, okay? And it still wasn't all the way dry. So it's okay. You can see, and it all that's going to do is create another layer for me, okay? So, yes, good idea, Nancy. If you've already placed an order in July, you can wait until August 1st. Megan's images will still be available, and my images will still be available, or because mine are going to be there. So you can wait until August 1st, and then that way you'll get the next new freebie, right? Yes, you can wait. All right, anyway, so stamped in black gesso on, this is a cradle panel over, like, so I painted it white gesso, let it dry, and then this is all stamped in black gesso. This is Megan's flower head girl from her Garden Gal collection. And then this is the trees in the distance that I just released. This is Mary Lynn Kelly's Wildflowers. And this is the While I Was Busy, I Became Me quote. But again, Megan's girls are great. If you don't want to use those quotes, then you can collage inside. You can use ArtFoamies poetry. I mean, there's so many different ways. But of course, I wanted to make it easy on myself. And you know, I always love a new art foamy. I won't lie. It's a cheap thrill, right? Okay, so how I would continue. So I, first of all, you know, or maybe you know, or maybe you don't, one of the things I love is this this arch is sort of a reoccurring theme in a lot of my work. I've been doing girls and goddesses and different things coming out of archways for quite a few years now, okay? I don't know why, it just for some reason something that has been reoccurring in my work, okay? I think it makes a nice frame. I think it sort of evokes a certain sort of thought, okay? So I'm gonna show you, I might change this up a little. I'm going to use my Posca marker first of all. Oh, Wendy says, what is the freebie? What is the new one? So you know that this was the July, okay, or is the July. So if you wait till August 1st, I will share it with you. I did another mushroom because I actually had, and I don't know how many of you know, I have a mushroom set that came out like in the very beginning, and I even drew like a little mushroom house, was a freebie a long time ago. And just mushrooms again with rubber moon. I had mushrooms with rubber moon. So I want to do a whole little mushroom village, and I love that it does also coordinate with many of Megan's. So this is going to be the August freebie. You're getting a sneaky peek. Okay. I haven't stamped it yet. I'll stamp it for you next week. Okay. But hopefully this can give you a good enough idea. It's a little bit different because it's has a little grass at the bottom and kind of a wide, more toadstooly, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so let's see. Um, could you could use the trees with Stampscapes art? Yes, these trees would go great with Stampscapes art. They're really my new trees in the distance are, and I don't really like using the word generic, okay? But there are some images that are. It could just be anybody. No, I don't proclaim to be as like amazing or innovative as Kevin in putting the images together the way he does, and so technically beautiful. But these could they could definitely work. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start building on this just so you can see it. I'm not gonna finish. Okay, I'm gonna do a few little things to start on her, and then I will work on her over, probably not tonight, but tomorrow, over the weekend, and then I will post and share a picture also. Okay. Yes, yeah, fairy to sit on top of the mushroom. Well, Stephanie, I did admittedly do a fairy to sit on top of the mushroom, but I'm not coming out with those yet. I thought I just didn't want to confuse the whole thing. So, all right, so I'm gonna use my Posca mopper, and I'm just going to again create my little archway here. All right, and the nice thing about this is that you can squeeze out a little bit of the paint. I'm gonna put it back here on my little mat. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze out, I got a puddle of the paint, so I can actually also take a brush and sort of fill in a couple of my little areas. Now I will tell you, this is not the same. This paint isn't really the same as a lot of acrylics, so I might not or I not might not, I won't use my best brush, okay? It doesn't clean out quite the same, but it is still workable, and you can, you're gonna want your colors to match, right? So here I'm just gonna use that and sort of pull this down. And this is how I will start my second layer and give myself that little arch that I love, okay? And you just kind of need to decide to visually, does it go down right through there, right? So probably wouldn't come to this side. All right, so there is my first layer there, and then hi Kay, welcome. It's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start begin to layer over these trees. Now I did treat myself to a new bottle of olive so flat. This is my first bottle in the new colors. Okay, I haven't got all the colors yet, but I had to get my hands on the olive. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a little of my so flat there, straight from my little bottle, and I'm just going to paint right over, because the trees, I stamped them in black, right? Black gesso. And as you can see, they're stamped rather lightly, but that's okay. It gives you, if you paint over, just gonna give you a nice little outline, another layer. And then you're gonna keep your little dark outline, right? Also, don't know if you can tell, I didn't stamp that one perfectly, so, but you know, it doesn't matter because I can sort of paint that out. Sort of the same in talking about Maryland's flowers, and I'm just debating. I started debating what colors I wanted to use. I think I'm gonna. I really don't know. I didn't want to get super super bright. I want these two to complement each other, so I'm not trying to use my normal. Um, not trying to use my normal color palette, my very, very bright color palette, okay? So I might want them, I am going to start with a little bit of orange anyway. Not that it can't be a little bit brighter. And I'm using my cadmium orange in my So Flat again. And once more, just to show you that I will paint out much of the black, okay? That's nice too because these colors are opaque, so they give really nice coverage. And honestly, that orange might be even a little bit brighter than how I want it to end up. So, Natalie, thank you so much. I certainly will love to do that. I do use uh, golden products all across the board. Um, and I'm going to just tell you, it is because I am what's so it's not only because. Uh, you know, I do share with you lots of other products, lots of other brands, but in my paints, I do use mostly all golden products. I am a golden artist educator, so I do get a certain amount of remuneration in product from sharing and showing and or you know having workshops and things with the golden products. But I will tell you, I would not be a golden artist educator if I didn't absolutely love the product. Okay, the whole entire reason I am an educator is because how much I love the product. So I would be showing it to you and using it and talking about it regardless. Okay. I do use across the board many of or all their different ranges, except for I don't use their oil paints because I don't paint in oils, but I do often use the high flow, the fluids. Right now, I'm really, really into the So Flats, and that is more their, their exactly what it says. Their matte flat line. It's more like sort of like an acrylic wash. But the reason why I use it is because it is a high quality artist grade paint. It does, even though a lot of times I am, doing crafting or stamping, I want still the best results. Okay, coverage is beautiful, longevity. You know, you're going to be able to do serious artwork or your crafts. You're going to be able to pass them down to your grandkids, right? So Anyway, because I'm never disappointed with the results. And that is the truth. I think anybody who is here that uses Golden will also confirm that. You know, not to say there's not other great brands. Okay, of course there are. But Monica, welcome. So here I do have a little bit of burnt umber. And right now, Natalie, I'm just pulling out by color. Honestly, I'm not really focused too much on what type of paint because, again, what I always say, they don't call it mixed media for nothing. And a lot of times, if I'm going to varnish or if I'm going to put some kind of wax or something over the top, it's not going to matter that much, right? Because you want your finish or your, you know, your oh yeah, finish, that's the only word I can think of right now, to all be the same when it dries. Well, if I'm using so flats and I'm using high flows or other regular or even the Posca moppers, then it's not going to have the same finish when I'm done. So I'm going to want to make sure that it does by whatever I put over the top. Okay. Yeah, and I won't lie, Golden is more pricey than a lot of stuff that you can purchase, of course, but just like with anything, you can find sales and specials. And you also, as we all know, you get what you pay for. So, you're gonna have the best results with Golden. And I do also absolutely love their watercolor, which is Core. You can see if I was really using like a craft paint, I would not be able to get this kind of coverage right over a black gesso like that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pull out another shade of green, my limey yellow green. Yeah, Nancy says, I love So Flat because it self-levels out the brush strokes, which normally I have trouble with in acrylics. And that is one of the beautiful things. Now, it is a little bit thicker. It's more viscous. It can sometimes feel, like you're painting. Oh, I don't, especially if it does thicken up, which it has a tendency to do sometimes. I'll tell you a lot, whatever negative along with the positive. And that's one of the things that I don't like about painting with acrylic wash, which it sometimes feels like you're painting with glue, right? But if you keep them covered, don't let a lot of air get to it, um, they'll last longer. But the coverage is wonderful, and the self-leveling quality is a really big benefit, okay? And it is because of the viscosity too. One thing I will say though, you may want to stir them. Okay, stir, don't shake. They really recommend that if they do separate a little bit, Golden recommends that you stir your So Flats, you don't shake them. Okay. I want you to know, and I think you do know this, and you can probably tell this by looking at this piece. Now, I don't use all my stamps super literally, okay? I use them as base layers a lot of times to achieve a certain look. So in this, even though I am painting over lots of these little stems and leaves, when I go back in to sort of, you know, layer up or continue to build on this, I am going to just let it rip. Okay, I'm just gonna be making marks, and all of that is sort of gonna become just a part of that background. All right, Again, not loving that shade of orange for this yet, but I'm not supposed to be loving it at this point, right? At least in my estimation. All right, takes a while. All right, and I'm probably, you know what? I'm not going to finish all those for you right now. I'm going to go ahead and go in. I am going to use a little of my quinacridone nickel azo gold. I didn't mean to squeeze that on paper, but oh well. And I am going to use that sort of over the top of some of this, again, to sort of change up the color a bit. And I will use it in some of those sort of white spaces also. It's going to sort of knock back that orangey color just a bit and give it a little more of a neutral. And then I'm going to go in and just also give some little texture, little polka dots with my brush. Again, because like I said, I'm just going to start building up all these layers. Okay, and that's how I will continue. I do feel like I might want just a touch, the slightest touch of fluorescent pink in here. I hardly ever go wrong when I use that color, so I may go ahead and pull some of that in. So it already will, I feel like, start to take shape a little bit. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of my olive green again. And just smush some more of that color here and there too. Just again to sort of knock back the brightness of that sort of limey green. I'm going to go ahead and start on her just a little bit up here in her flowers in her head. The three kitties. Oh my gosh. Thank you for asking, Dee. Oh my gosh. So we love them. I don't know how many of you have heard. We are keeping all three. We're madly in love with them, and they are really good kitties. I was really not up for having more pets. I won't lie to you. I think all of you heard me say that I wasn't going to keep them, and that we were going to find homes. However, none of the homes really panned out, and at the same time, we just fell in love with them. They're such good kittens, very loving and sweet. They're not really that, I mean, they are mischievous, of course, because they're kittens, but they're not as horrific as they could be. And you know, it's okay. We've really enjoyed having them, and they've really brought us a lot of love and joy. So, so yeah, we are keeping them. Their names are Mochi, Gray Mouse, and Marbles, and they're huge. They are not tiny anymore. So I'll share pictures again soon. Thank you so much for asking. And yes, you can all have a good belly laugh, because a lot of you had said, oh, we knew you were going to keep them anyway. What a sucker I am. And you know, the thing is, though, Mr. Moon loves them just as much, if not more, than I do. So it's definitely mutual. Okay. So I am going to just get my little Posca again to sort of darken up this line. Ooh, Heather Bailey says, I love golden. I just got a huge order of heavy body today. Lucky you. You know, I really need to go through and figure out what colors I need. It's so funny because a lot of times I will be working and then I'll be like, oh gosh, you know, I'm almost out of teal. I need teal or whatever. And then I go to order and of course I can't remember because I always say I will remember, but of course I never do. Huh. So, you know, part of me, right now, I'm not going to lie to you. I always tell you the truth. Not sure how I want to resolve this. I will possibly work on her face just a little bit. I'm going to take just a pencil. This is an extra dark. And I'm going to give her a little bit of eyelid right there. And I'm going to give her a little bit of undershadow under her nose and under her lip. All right. Debating on debating on colors right now. So I'm going to use a little bit of burnt sienna. And you know, I think I do have it in a so flat. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see what I did. I actually took I had a little bit of so flat white left over in this, and I did add a little bit of burnt sienna to it to make a really pale sort of base skin tone. It is definitely very light white skinned, you know, but if you want to make that darker, you can just take a little bit more of the burnt sienna. And I think is my burnt sienna. I am going to just use my fluid because I have it here, so I'm going to mix a little bit more. I'll just start on her face, and then I probably, let's see. Yeah, so Jim, I believe, so they just came out with 20 new colors. So I believe that there is approximately, and don't quote me exactly, let's see, I don't know if my color chart has the new ones. Hold on, let me show you. Just got a color chart from them. So here's the color chart. I do believe it has all the new colors. Let's see, does it? Yes. So this does have all the new colors, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 times 7 plus 4. So 8 times 7, so 60, is that right? 60 colors. Oh my gosh, am I adding right? And then here they are. Really, really nice array now of blues and greens. It was a little light effort, you know, on colors at first. So I'm super excited about these, and I don't have them all, but I have a fair amount. So again, I'm just using a mixture of a little bit of my burnt sienna from my fluid line, and then a little bit here. Oh, you know what? That's the wrong color. Dang it. Hold on. I'm about to mix the wrong color. I don't want to mix quinacridone gold. That will not give me a good skin tone. Mix it on this little mat here instead. Oops, a little too much, but oh well, it happens. All right, I think I do need a little bit smaller of a brush, so I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? I got a couple new brushes too. I'm gonna go ahead. I love these, and this is just because I love it. It is a silver brush. That's the name of the company, and it is a ruby satin. I love their ruby satin brushes for acrylic, especially. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm using again the So Flat here because of the great coverage, and I can make pretty quick work of it. And I can also, if I want to darken her skin tone, you know, I can definitely go in with a little bit more of the burnt sienna. Also, a lot of times I will cover up some of the stamped lines and paint over them. So if you know, if you end up covering it up inadvertently, that's okay. And I am just avoiding the whites of her eyes, okay? So oh gosh, I've gone so long already. I didn't realize how long I was taking. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, and I'm sitting here sweating to death. So much for a quick evening, right? I'll finish her face, or at least part of it, and then we'll say good night. Again, I'm sorry to my Moonies that we're not going to have an after party tonight, but I can't believe I've held out as long as I have. I am, and normally I'm not a really sweaty person, to be honest. I'm not really, but you know, mostly I just perspire a little like a lady. No, I'm kidding. But you know, anyway, yeah, I'm not usually super sweaty, but I will tell you, it's really hot out here. So you must know that I love Makeys to be sitting in here sweltering. I'm gonna also, you can see where I stamped her there, and then I just elongated the lines, okay, and I sort of gave her longer lines for her arms to look like they're kind of going behind her back. So that's just one way you can sort of deal with her there. I said I was going to work only on her face, and then I just went right to her arms. Oh gosh. You can laugh at me, I don't mind. I laugh at myself all the time. So yeah, yes, this is the after party mixed into one. Since I didn't want to like go off and then come back on too. All right, so we're going to count her neck as also part of her face. And keep in mind that, you know, I layer, layer, layer. And you know, I say this to all my Moonies quite often, you can't fake the layers, right? So it's okay if you're not getting everything on the first pass, right? I am going to go in, I'm going to use a little bit of the straight sort of burnt sienna, do some of the shading around. I did get rid of her eyebrow there, right? So I'm going to want to go back and re-establish her eyebrow. A lot of times I may not want like all the dark black outlines. So, you know, I'll sort of obliterate those and go over it with a little bit of like the more of the skin tone. Now I am going to go back in and redo her eyebrow with my paint marker just because I didn't really mean to get rid of it so fully, you know. But here, let me get just a little bit more white. I have my white out. Well, I didn't, so I guess I'll just use a tiny drop of white gesso. Because here we're going to fix up her eyes. Again, making a little eyelid there with a little bit of the dark burnt sienna. Ooh, yes, it's 101 here right now. They said at 5:30 it would be 101, and yesterday was 100. And I think tomorrow is also supposed to be super hot, and then it's supposed to start cooling down. Anyway, layer, layer, layer. I am going to, again, give her the little gleam in the eye. I think that always makes such a difference. You know, and you can keep looking and seeing where you might want to finesse her a little bit more. And you know, I'll eventually go in and give her some rosy cheeks. Definitely also, you know, give her like a nice lip color. You can use all kinds. Alizarin Crimson is a great lip color. Lots of times I will use even some of my magenta or some of my opera every now and then. Let's use, oh, just because I still have a little of the medium magenta over here, let's use some of that. And we'll use that for some cheek color here. Smushy, smushy. Patty, yes, 98 and muggy. I know it's hot back there. Oof. Oh, yeah, the humidity is really what ends up killing you, you know? Smushy, smushy with a little bit more of the skin tone mixture, you know? And of course, be looking. Lots of times I tell you all to take pictures as you go along. You can even use the monitor if you videotape your stuff. Very helpful for finding where you need your values and such like that. Okay, here I'm going to use again that magenta for her lips. All right, you pull some of the color back and you get a little of that sort of dark line that Megan put there on purpose, and that is to give, you know, a little bit of darker value, and you can just sort of pull that away. All right, if you want to, let's give her green eyes, okay? So I'm going to pull this olive out one more time, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to pop a little color right in there, right inside that black line. Just leave enough of the black so it looks like she has a pupil. Okay, and the other thing I like to do, just to give you a little idea, I'm going to take just a tiny bit of this blue, the blue that I use for my Posca. Again, I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the white and just sort of get most of it. I'm going to get sort of a dry brush. Okay, I'm just going to put a little color up underneath her eyelids. All right, just going to give it tiniest bit of drop shadow, and it really makes a difference because the whites of your eyes are not pure white, right? They're not. They have reflected color. Sometimes I'll even take, oh, maybe a little bit again of that same magenta, and we're going to give her a little bit of a dot in the corner because you will have a little bit of color there, maybe in the other corner. Maybe even run it along the bottom sort of lid, right? You can also do a little bit of darker color right underneath to give her just a little liner. And again, value, 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 value. Mixed in with a little bit of that pink as well, and that looks really nice. And here, again, a little more flesh tone there. And I have just some little, you know, sort of tiny bits of color, just the smallest amount makes a big difference, you know. And then if you don't like the way it did it model a little bit, you can go back and clean it up. Maybe run a little bit of white here on the tip of her nose and bottom of her lip. All the way down, because that would be kind of in highlight, right? So, and there you have it. There's her face, and of course, and I'll work on her hair, more layering, finishing up her little archway, and then whatever goes back in there. So I'm having fun. I hope you are too. I cannot wait to see what you create when you get your hands on these stamps. It literally is. I want you to know I love creating. I love Makeys. I love all this stuff, but my biggest pleasure is seeing what you all create when you get your hands on them. Okay, so yes, a So Flat swatching party. Oh my gosh, that would be fun. We should have a swatch party. All right, I'm going to read the comments and see if anybody else has any other thoughts or questions before we get going. I want to thank you, as I always do, for coming here, for joining me in sharing of art and creativity. It really means so much to us, and we hope you know it. So I hope that you enjoy the pop-ups and all of the new ArtFoamies always, and of course ArtFoamies Fun Friday. So I am going to say goodbye unless anybody has any other things they would like to say or talk about. I'll sit here for a minute. I am going to turn the camera back on me, but please know I am a sweaty hot mess. All right. Okay, so that's it for ArtFoamies Fun Friday. Look at me. I am, ooh, it's a little more than just perspiration here. So it's okay though. All right, we got new comments, so I got to see if everybody's just raring to go or what. Bye. Bye, Mystic Images. Thank you so much. Cindy. Mwah. All right, have a great, wonderful weekend. I love you to the moon and back, and you know the deal. Stay safe, stay sane, stay makey, and I'll see you real soon. Bye, everyone.